What's up, guys? Just sipping on my pre-workout prior to going to the gym. It's about 7:45 in the morning. It's a Sunday. Got a big, productive, non-procrastinational day, if that is a word, ahead of me. First thing I want to do is get to the gym, get that over with. I took yesterday off. It's fucking with me mentally. I've got to get there, I've got to get it done, I'll get back, and then we'll crack into the day. Like I said, I got my pre-workout. I don't normally take that, but today, I kind of need it. Or at least I'm telling myself I need it, because, unfortunately, not yesterday, but the day before, I went out to my Christmas party. It was a choice, it was a conscious choice. I was not forced. I may have been influenced by my work colleagues, but I was not forced. And I was certainly not forced to drink alcohol at that party, but I did decide to. I made a choice and I decided to. Now, yesterday hit me smack bang in the face. It wasn't fun. And I realized throughout the day that this was indeed the first hangover I had to go through without leaning on the use of weed. Now, medicinally, I've always thought my ideal situation would be to, not drink for the most part, but if and when I did, I'd have this little nug in my bedside table, in the drawer, just waiting, just in case, just in case I needed it, for situations like that. Or if I got really, really sick and I just couldn't sleep, or I didn't want to eat, or I was feeling nauseous, I've always thought that having just a little bit of weed there, just tucked away for a rainy day, or in this case for a hangover, would be the perfect scenario. But I don't. I simply don't. And as of today, we are 29 days through sobriety from that. And we have a visitor. And another one. What's up?
I need help doing.
You need help getting on YouTube?
Yeah. Can I have some?
No, that's pre-workout, darling. What was that?
Cookie! Oh, cookie's over that side.
There you go.
No.
What are you watching this morning?
YouTube.
What are we going to do later?
Go swimming!
Colouring?
No, go swimming.
Swimming? Cleaning?
Colouring in, go swimming, and then clean the house.
Sounds like a fantastic day, actually. Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, here's Cookie. Anyway, it's just prior to 8 in the morning. I'm off to the gym. And,
You're not off to the gym.
I am off to the gym. Soon.
No.
As soon as the other parent comes back. I can't leave you by yourselves. Anyway.
Yes, you can, because this is my own phone and I can call.
Anyway, I did just want to touch on that. Yeah, I'll make you some breakfast before I go. So I just wanted to touch on that, the fact that I did have to get through a relatively decent hangover without the use of weed, which was tough. But I've had a decent sleep last night, and I've woken up this morning. Like I said, I'm not 100%, which really annoys me, but I would say I'm a good 85%, and that's certainly good enough to have a really good, productive Sunday, because if I wasn't, and if I'd wasted my entire weekend, that is basically that's just simply not good enough. That is not good enough. I call myself a parent. I call myself sober from alcohol. I'm on such a good fucking path at the moment, and then I go and ruin it like that. That's simply not good enough. And you know what? In previous weeks, previous months, previous years, the way that I was feeling yesterday, I would have either gone and got some more alcohol, which just would have put me in even bigger of a hole today, and I'd struggle to get out of it, and I'd be back on a bender. Or I would have sourced some weed and smoked that. And once again, would have let myself down. I would have had a big bag. I would have had some left over today, and I would have been smoking. And I simply cannot and will not live my life like that, addicted to drugs and alcohol. It's done. I'm fucking done. Friday was a slip-up. I better go. Right, where were we? We were somewhere around about 20 minutes ago. So some toast and pancakes for the kids later, and I am officially off to the gym. I do feel a little bit guilty because yesterday I was a fucking absolute just lazy piece of shit. Didn't do a single thing around the house, really didn't help with the kids at all, and it's, you know, that's another reason why I just simply cannot live my life like that. I can't let drugs and alcohol, I know we're talking about weed in this particular video, but you know what making bad decisions does for me, it's worse for me mentally than it is physically, put it that way. Yeah, the hangover was rough. Yeah, look, I had headaches and I couldn't drink enough water to save myself, but what it does to me mentally is so much worse. And so I've just got to be really conscious of that, and I've got to realize that, hey, I have been out sober before. It's not the worst thing in the world, and I feel just that much better for it. You know, it's a win. Going out sober and remaining sober is a massive win for me, especially. So I've got to get excited about the prospect of going out sober again. Because I was, you know, a month ago, I was excited about that. I was excited about the opportunity to do it, to try it, to see if I could do it, and I did do it. It's just that it had been over 6 weeks of not drinking, so I'd forgotten all that, and I'd known that this occasion was coming up, and I'd prepared for it, I thought, as best as possible, but simply nothing can prepare you for a hangover. It is the pits. Either way, the other point that I wanted to make today was my dreams from last night. Really intense. And the last dream that I had prior to waking up was actually quite emotional at the time, although it all seemed really normal, but it was really frustrating as well, because all of a sudden I was back in New Zealand, and lo and behold, who comes into the room? My Nana, who passed away about 5 years ago. And there she was, in the flesh, and I gave her a hug, and I felt it, and I saw her face, and I heard her voice. And in the dream I realized she's not alive. She passed away. I realized that in the dream, and it was brought to my attention that there was a new form of technology that could recreate, and this is probably going to happen in the future, but it was a new form of technology that through AI, through learning her voice and looking at photos, they could create like not a hologram, a real life version of this person. But they told me it was through a screen, and I spent the remainder of the dream trying to convince my dad and my sister to tell me, or to explain to me, how a screen could take the form of a human. Because, you know, obviously that just did not make sense. It didn't make sense in the dream, and it doesn't make sense now. But that's what dreams are like sometimes. So I was able to give my Nana a hug, and I haven't done that for 5 or 6 years. And it was pretty intense, and I was so excited about this new technology. So excited. But quite simply, I never got an explanation on how it worked, how it functioned, because it's impossible. And that's, like I said, that's what dreams are like. But I wanted to touch on that because I slept like a fucking baby last night. I needed it. And when I do sleep really deeply, when I do feel refreshed in the morning, when I have like a 5 or 6 hour period of time that I don't wake up, or I don't remember waking up, I know that I've had a decent sleep, and I usually have a dream or two. And you know, that simply was not possible when I was smoking weed every day. There were no dreams. Every now and then I would. In fact, one interesting period of my life is when I went on some antidepressants, and I'm not going to get into that now because I simply I don't know if I needed them. I feel like smoking weed every day and taking antidepressants is ridiculous, but I not only was smoking weed, I was drinking as well, because you know, I went in and I got these antidepressants and I thought, right, as soon as I take these, that's going to be enough of a reason for me to stop drinking and smoking, because I just so desperately wanted to get my mental health back in check. And I thought, this is my ticket. Well, I started taking them, and unfortunately I simply couldn't stop drinking or taking drugs. But what happened, the only measurable change that actually happened, was I began dreaming. I began dreaming again whilst drinking and smoking, which prior to taking those antidepressants never happened. And so that's a change. That's something that's going on in the brain through this SSRI medication that is opening up my brain in some way enough so that even if I do knock myself out with a hell of a lot of weed before going to sleep, I was having dreams regularly. And I thought that was interesting. But as far as curing my depression, well, I never gave it any chance. So that's why I don't really have any advice on it. But either way, guys, I'm almost at the gym. I'm feeling pumped, as pumped as possible. Like I said, 85%, I'd say. 85%. I mean, I can hear it in my voice. I'm not back to normal yet, but I tell you what, a good weight session followed by a decent, at least 5 kilometer run, and I will be back on board, back firing, and ready to tackle the rest of the day. Tomorrow being day 30, although I think it might be day 31, I'll be doing a recap video. That video will be titled, I quit weed for 30 days and this is what happened, I think. Or I might just make a vlog, get that done, and then over the next couple of days try and, you know, write some notes, make it as concise as possible, and then create that recap type video afterwards. I think that might be the plan. But all of that and more will be revealed in the next couple of days. We're approaching 30 days without weed, and I've had enough of talking about negative things today. I've had enough of talking about mistakes that I've made over the weekend. It's time to get my shit back together and start focusing on the positives again, because all that fucking drinking did for me is completely wipe my brain of all of the positive things that I've made, all of the positive changes, all of it wiped me of all of that. All you can focus on, or all I can focus on, are the negatives. Fuck that shit. I'm not doing it again. But I had to experiment. I was never going to go 365 days without a single drop of alcohol. It wasn't going to happen. I mean, I thought it might happen, but from this point on, I can see it happening for the rest of the year, the rest of the 365 days, but nothing's guaranteed. And this series is about weed, not alcohol. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'm at the gym. Here it is in all its glory. Outback Gym and Fitness. And I think it's going to be a push day. Chest, shoulders, triceps, and a 5k run. Cheers to that.